And we're live. This is episode 40 of the check-in. I was going to say we're a couple minutes late, but we're a week late. We are, this is a week, there was no episode last week. Don will be joining us shortly.
Yeah.
I'm Paul Ash. With me is Mike Gamache. Hey,
Hello.
Mike. For those of you who accidentally tune in, this is just a couple friends getting together to chat, to see how the week has been and or the past 2 weeks have been, and what we're looking forward to in the next couple of days.
And we're already at episode 40. Wow.
We
That's
are at
like,
episode 40. There we are.
hey,
Hi,
Don.
sorry I'm
Uh,
late.
no, it's all my fault.
Oh no, no, this was some technical fun just after getting my way in here.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I just realized how branded I am today.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. You certainly are. Yes.
hmm I gotta love shout out to StreamYard who makes this way of
Yes.
connecting so easy.
Fly the flag. Get the indeed.
Fly the flag.
Yeah.
Not a paid sponsorship. I actually have to pay them. This is. Can I? I'm going to confess something,
Yes.
and I'm going to ask your guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
Am I overthinking it or not? I dislike wearing clothing with labels. Like, I won't wear a shirt that says, Gucci or whatever, or
Or
advertises
yeah,
something.
like the Nike swoosh or
Or
little
yeah,
little logos.
even
Yeah.
like to buy something that has like a brand logo on it.
Right.
I won't do that. Now I'll accept free T-shirts and I'll wear them. This is pretty much the exception. Even my jeans that I buy,
hmm
I do buy Levi's and I don't take the tags off, because I believe in them, and I'm
Right.
I'm a proud user
hmm
of them. I find that they're good. Am I overthinking it? Am
I
I?
I also am sort of like I bristle at the fact that I am paying good money to buy a product and then also advertising for them with no compensation. So it's like, it's like, oh, I'm a NASCAR driver and I've got all of these patches all over myself.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, they often say, politicians should wear patches like NASCAR drivers so we know where they're
Yeah.
paid for. But I find I've made some political statements, or I've shown um, my disagreement with certain brands. Like, for example, okay, I will not purchase any product from Nike. And that stems back to the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games, where Nike's slogan for the whole games, their corporate slogan was second place is first loser. And I thought that was the most horrific slogan ever, because you're at the Olympics, you're in second place, which means you're the second best at something, but they label you the first loser. It's like, fuck off with that shit. You're an elite athlete if you make it to the Olympics. Period. Never mind if you win or place or get a medal. You're an elite athlete, and for Nike to essentially shit on you because you didn't win is like, fuck off. So I have never bought a Nike product after that. My wife likes Nike products. I don't bemoan her that, but I, as a matter of principle, will not buy anything from Nike.
Well, I don't have I don't have a story to go with mine, but basically for me, I don't like the idea of feeling like I am a walking billboard, that I'm
Yeah,
endorsing a company and there's no compensation for that. You hear
yeah,
people talking about getting branded tattoos on their heads, and if they're going to need that from me, I'm going to need some compensation. So if you ever see me wearing a logo, it's because I got it at Value Village and it was on it and I like the fit of the shirt, but
right.
it's not a deliberate choice.
Yeah,
I think that's just so high school to kind
Mm-hmm.
of go out and purposely get something for the logo, because you can get off-brand things that are equally, have the same workmanship,
Exactly.
and don't have the logo, and so much cheaper, and that's a lot smarter, I think.
Not to mention that there's a huge market for counterfeit brands, stuff that you
That
look
wouldn't be
at it
as
and you
good a
go,
quality, but
hey,
yeah.
it has the logo because they're not shy about
Or something
counterfeiting the
similar
logo,
to
or
the
something
logo.
so similar that is like, at first glance you don't notice that it's not the logo, but then especially the like Louis Vuitton and all the up the upscale brands, and you look at it and you go, I don't know. Although some people buy the knockoffs as an ironic comment on commercialism, which is like, well, why would you, if you're against commercialism, why would you endorse counterfeiting?
Yeah, but it starts young too. My
Yeah.
son is 10, and
Yeah.
he's coming home from the schoolyard already, with
Mm-hmm.
conversations with other buddies who are saying that, this name brand means quality, and they don't have the life experience to even know that. So where do
Yeah.
they get that information from?
Yeah.
They're not thinking
The ads.
critically.
Yeah. I wanted to point out with sort of a cross between it's you were saying that you're buying it because the quality, or buying a knockoff, or without the logo, and it's got the same workmanship, and I immediately thought of Nike, and it's the same children in the same factory who are making both shirts.
Right. Exactly.
It was, I think, in my first year of doing stand-up comedy. I don't know how early it was, but one of the jokes I wrote was that Nike swoosh. It's like, I support child labor. Check here.
Check here, yes. Oh no, but
that
that's
way.
it. People don't think about what they're wearing. They're just, I don't know. Maybe they think that it's going to help them fit in some way, but
Yeah. Well,
things aren't.
that's what I mean. That's a huge part. That's why
Mm-hmm.
we're all chatting together, because we share comedy,
Yeah.
right? And a huge part in basic drive for us is to identify our clan, our tribe.
Mhm.
And you have your blood tribe, right? Your people that you grew up with, but then you want to find the like-minded people. I think
Right.
I really, this is, I'm going to go way off on a tangent. I think that the fact that there are so many TV channels and we have access to so many niche groups on the the web, that's why we're being a bit more fractured as a society. Now, some people, or conspiracy theorists, or not even just conspiracy theorists, would say that, like, back when there was only 3 channels in the U.S., like ABC, NBC, and CBS,
Mhm.
you were all being spoon fed the same kind of
Yeah.
ideas.
The same commercials would run on all 3 networks.
Not just commercials, but the news broadcasts,
Yes.
the TV shows. I watched an article about Japanese television and how Japanese society is very polite, but their TV is uber happy.
Yeah.
It's
Happy.
everything is positive. Everything is
Oh.
it's like, oh, that's so great. Oh, that's so great. And everything is sold as
Reinforcing.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing is, like, negative and stressful things don't really appear on Japanese television.
Interesting.
And
I thought
I
I
think that
heard
affects
something
society,
about
yeah.
suicide rates in, I don't know how Japan ranks, but I
It
thought
is
that
higher.
was a higher.
Yeah.
I wonder if all of that toxic positivity contributes to that, because if you're being
Well,
fed that everywhere,
I think
maybe.
I would surmise, or I would propose that the positivity that they put on their media is probably to try to counteract the excessive pressure that the Japanese society places on success. Like, when you're in business in China, when you're working for anybody in China, it is a great dishonor to not do your job properly, to not to fail the customer, to fail the company.
I
The
really
Japanese
don't.
have a very high sense of honor.
I don't want to go into that. I would recommend people follow Abroad in Japan. It's a YouTube channel by a British expat who lives in Japan, and he vlogs about his experiences.
That sounds great.
In his thing, he didn't mention anything about honor. He did mention about expectations. Like if you start dating somebody who's Japanese, it will very quickly turn to talk of marriage because that is a goal to achieve. He did talk about the fact that people are sort of pressured him, and he knows other people who are pressured to work extra hours unpaid. But it doesn't matter what you do at work as long as you're there. So when he was a teacher, he would sit in his classroom. He would be learning Japanese afterwards. Or he'd be playing video games or listening to music.
Oh, sorry. My light likes to give out.
Okay.
Oh,
there you are.
That always seems to happen on this on these live streams.
Wednesdays, yeah.
Yeah, and BattleCon.
But yeah, that was one of the things is like, even if he was just hanging out listening to music or watching videos because he had the free Wi-Fi at the school, people would, other teachers and the principal would come in and go, "Hey, you're here late. That's great." It didn't matter what he was doing. It's just the fact that he was there.
Present, yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the things he did mention, though, is mental health care in Japan is sorely lacking. He spoke to somebody who lived there for a short time who had depression, and they went to see a doctor in Japan, a mental health professional in Japan, who said, "Have you tried being happy?"
See, toxic positivity again. That's not an antidote or a counterbalance when you have dark thoughts.
Yeah. So that's an example. Suicide rate is higher there, but I think that's probably more attributed to the lack of mental health care, or the quality of mental health care. He did mention though the hospital system was great.
Yeah.
So.
But we just had a recent example of the Crown Princess of Japan marrying a commoner and having to move to the United States because the country was offended at the fact that she was not doing her duty.
I don't think
that's a different expectation level too.
Yeah, it's true.
And even the royal family in England get that pushback.
Yes, they do
when they do that.
Yeah. Okay. Lady Diana was a classic case of that.
Well, Meghan Markle too.
Meghan Markle now, yeah. He's taking up that mantle, if you will.
What was it? What was not Mrs. Edward? What was her name?
Wallis Simpson.
Well, yeah, Mrs. Simpson.
Yes.
She married. She was a widow or divorced?
No,
divorced.
She was twice divorced. Twice divorced.
Right.
And yeah. So she
married
married
Prince of Wales.
Yeah. What was he? Was
Prince Edward?
Edward the Seventh, or something like that.
Anyways, and so he had to abdicate and move to France.
Yes.
So there you go. The more you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike, you mentioned that the renovations are continuing. You were installing lights.
I had yesterday, actually not yesterday, the day before, I had the unfortunate experience of coming downstairs to breakfast, flicking on the kitchen lights, and instead of having 4 lights, I only had 2, and discovering that my track lighting had sort of given up the ghosts, because it was an IKEA track light with these little individual sort of transformer things that plugged into the track. And the transformers have had an unfortunate habit of dying on me, and I can't get any replacements. So what originally was a 6-light setup had now turned into a 2-light setup. So I had actually been sort of, I'd been anticipating this development. So I had gotten a new track lighting system to install, but I hadn't gotten around to installing it yet. And I was forced into installing it at the worst possible time, which was like, okay, it's dark. It was cloudy day and everything was just like dull and dreary. And here I am installing track lights practically in the dark. So it was a lot of fun. And now I have a second set of lights that I want to install, which is under cabinet lights, which are probably not going to be that difficult to do. But still, it's like, yeah, the renovations continue. We're still looking at the possibility of having windows installed in December. So we're hoping that maybe either we're hoping one of two things: either it doesn't snow and doesn't have like a lot of stuff, so the work can be done fairly quickly and easily, or we get a huge dumping of snow, in which case they won't come. So,
and Don, you are producing a show this Saturday.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw that on Facebook. It was
Yeah, so it's going to be Saturday afternoon. It's a bit of an unusual time because it's a pop-up comedy show. One of the performers is too young to be in a bar. So, so I wanted to make sure that she had a chance to get some stuff recorded.
That's very sweet of you, Dawn. Honestly.
No worries. I think that would be fun. And it's basically a way to get folks, a place to record their submissions. And there's the Winnipeg Comedy Festival deadline that's coming up really soon. And and as a bonus, if there are people to laugh at us, all the better.
Well, good luck with that, Don.
Thank you. So it'll be fun. I am planning to do more conventional.
This is the first show you produced?
No, I did. Did I? Oh my goodness! I think I did. The first one I did was a birthday show in the before times in
the before times.
2018 or 2019. It was like a birthday show, and I thought I would try to squish a roast part into it. Didn't go well. It wasn't a Reese's Pieces moment, but it was super fun to do, and Facebook just reminded me about it. So I'm going to start posting pictures from that event on my timeline. Right. I didn't post it because I was a little bit off brand on that. I was borrowing clothes from another comic, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm just so exposed.
Okay.
I thought
I do want to see those pictures.
I was just like, I'm not posting this. No. But then I just kind of thought, yes, I could do it. And then I'm looking at it now going, oh my God, it's really pretty conservative. I could go to a PTA meeting wearing it. But I was just like, it was like not blurred clothes. But yeah, so long story short, I have produced before, not consistently. So I'm hoping to change that. So I'm in talks right now to get a monthly mic going because that's what my schedule can support, and more details to come, I guess.
We'll be looking for that.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention who's on the show?
Yes.
And the fact you were talking about it being the Winnipeg Comedy Festival submissions. That means people are going to be doing extended sets. So it's not going to be a lot of comic. Okay.
It depends because one of the things I need to do is I need to follow up. One comic, for example, said that she might have 2 sets, so like 16 minutes. Some other people are just doing 1. I myself might not actually be doing having my set recorded during this show because it's I was planning to have more than 1, and I don't want it to be the Dawn show. So. But let me see here. I'm just gonna pull up the ad so I don't leave anyone out. I'm a little bit on sleepy time cold medicine because my so I'm there we go. Okay, so for the pop-up comedy, we have as our headliner our 17-year-old Precious is her name, and then I'm hosting. we're also going to be featuring in this show Janelle Niles. She is the producer of Got Land, which has been touring in a lot of places across Canada. She is she's been doing comedy less time than me, but already amazing. So much coverage everywhere. And then Chelsea Dagla, a hilarious comedian that I invited to the show because I want to see more of her. She is hilarious. We were on a couple of shows in before times together, and she is clever, witty, and hilarious. Just always like a deadly combination. Then we have, of course, Paul, who is driving from Montreal to Ottawa to be in our daytime show, which is really grateful for. So I think he's going to show the rest of us how to elevate our craft, which is always important, especially since most of us in the show is our first attempt to put things together to submit. So at the very least, the rest of us will have material that we can use to post anywhere. But it's always a fantastic exercise to see a more accomplished comedian perform, and then we can sort of take notes and then upgrade for the next time.
Don't be shy there. Paul, do not shy away from that. You are definitely more accomplished than most people that will be on that show. But
of course, like you've been in this for a while. And then last but not least, we have Simone Holder. She's the winner of the Yuck Yucks comedy competition recently. Also a fairly new comic, but hilarious, amazing, and with her own unique style. So these people together would be great. And I have to also point out, because this is Ottawa and it does not often happen unless it's Black History Month, we have most of the lineup are people of color. So it's going to be really cool.
Well, Paul is a color, but Paul is of a pale color with a lot of red.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
And most are women as well.
Yes, exactly. Paul is also the only man on the show as well. So not by design. This is not by design, but it's really great because I wanted to get more comics that I don't usually see. Because sometimes the louder ones you see more of, and they're always, doing the same stuff. These fantastic people, they need more stage time. So
good for you for focusing on that, Dawn. That's great.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm a comedy fan. Long before I was a comic, so I want to laugh.
Same here.
Yeah. So this is great. So I'm looking forward to doing after this that regular show, regular room, because it will have a different focus than a lot of things I see elsewhere. And that's really exciting to me. So we'll see how long I can sustain that momentum.
As somebody who's produced shows, as long as you can, and this is the tricky part, because if it's an open mic, or if you're not paying the acts, you will find that you will have times where you can't be as selective in booking acts. And the trick is to make sure you keep the quality high enough that keeps the word of mouth up and you keep people coming back.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I'm not a fan of shows where where there's not some level of curation, because it's just I went to one recently and I won't mention where, but I was just cringing for so much of it. And I just thought, well, what is the objective here? Is the objective, is it to grow an audience? Because I'm not sure if that happened. Is it to get the comics better? Because I'm not sure if that happened. So I'm a fan of curation, but I also have so limited time. I don't want to waste it.
Right.
So so I'm giving some thought about how I would keep that momentum going, because word of mouth is so important, and growing it is so important.
I think if you're a producer and like you said, you're producing shows that are cringe inducing, that's not really how can I put it? You're not really respecting your audience. For one, and you're also not respecting.
Deliberately cringy.
Yeah, well,
so there's that. So
you have to, like you said, curation. I mean, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be known as the oh my, that's such an off off wacky, crazy show that you want to go and see it just for the train wreck aspect. That's not a selling
Well,
point for anybody. Yeah.
that's the Gong Show. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
mean, there
exactly.
is a place for that, but you have to kind of be upfront.
Yes,
I
exactly.
think what happens is there's a number of times that producers, uh, who, especially those who are not paying people, are going to be booking people. Like if they're taking money at the door, they're booking
Mhm.
people who will bring friends,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
so
bringer
they're
shows.
well, they not
It's
all bringer shows say they're bringer shows, but
yes, that's
Mm.
it.
the thing is, there's acts who bring people, and when they bring people, they will. Some producers will take note and will be booking them more often.
Exactly. Exactly.
Having a following is a good thing in the comedy industry, and having a following will get you more work because they know that there's a guaranteed base coming in to help cover their expenses. Now, if they're only looking at it as in there's a guaranteed base coming in to see you is going to just line their pockets, then that's a skeezy producer.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah. No, no. The other thing I forgot to mention is that my policy normally, like with the exception of this pop-up show, because it's a little unusual and there are some extra costs in there.
Yeah.
My policy is actually to always pay comics because for my birthday show, for example, I treated it as more of a private event. So people were invited, but it was people that I knew, people. Well, I think I promoted it on Instagram, but the people, most of the people who were there were people that I knew, but I also paid them the corporate rate because I was looking at it as a private event, like my birthday, right?
Hmm.
So I was really proud about that because I think the payment shows a lot of respect for their time, for their preparation, and again, just they need to get used to that they're
Yeah.
recognizing that their time has value. So
It's a fine
yeah.
line for a producer because the producer, what they should be doing should be adding value, but
Hmm.
I mean, doing the work to have a space, to have the equipment, making sure that it's up to par,
Yeah.
getting the word out, that deserves something as well. But
Hmm.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So there's a whole bunch of, but I think it comes down to, what I ultimately decide is the function of that space. Like, is it a workout space? Is it a
mm,
some sort of a showcase space? And I'm kind of leaning toward the workout room because I don't go to very many of those, and Zoom open mics have taken the place of a lot of in-person mics. The ones where there's tons of comics in the back and no real audience. Those
Right.
are the equivalent to Zoom mics for me now.
Yeah.
So I'd love to go to a room where I know that I'm there to improve something specific, and I know that other people are there for the same thing.
Hmm.
So I need to figure out what that looks like, what I'd be really happy with to start with, and then I can always tweak it later.
that's a good
Well,
attitude.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's going to be a process for you. So
Oh
it's
yeah, it's
you're
going to be
just going to
fun.
have to be patient and also have a little bit of a vision of what you've already voiced your vision of what you want it to be, but you'll have to really like sort of I don't know, you'll have to toe the line in many respects
Oh, I'm type A
to
enough for
yeah.
that.
Okay, enough
Well,
said.
if we were to go to ancient history,
Yes.
the Kick-Ass show
Yeah.
was a workout room.
Yes, it
Mhm.
was.
But that's where I established the Monarch of the Mountain rules that I use at Vaudeville.
Cool.
And what it is all the performers who go up, the audience will pick their top two. So if somebody brings a lot of friends, sure, they're going to probably vote for their friend, but they have to vote for one other act,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And then the top two names, because all the votes are equal, so the two votes, not one weighted any more than the other, uh, are going to be the paid host and the paid closer the next week.
Nice.
And so I choose from which of those two is going to host, which is going to
Right.
close, because
Mhm.
some people have more strengths,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then the next week it's those people. So I stopped hosting. Part of it was I was hosting so much I was feeling host burnout.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, okay, we've got our regulars coming,
Mhm.
but they've heard all my old jokes, so I got to make sure I have something new. And I started doing a lot of crowd work there, but it was,
Mm. Yeah.
and writing topical stuff. But then
Right.
that's stuff that I can't really keep in my.
Yeah. In your
Mhm.
quiver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I really was proud of my JC Dugard joke, but
Yeah. 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 You can
Oh.
only you can only you can only reference Ted Bundy so many times, and then it's like, what? Who?
Who?
is that clown painter?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The what's anything coming up? Well, I mean, Dawn's show is coming up.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
I've got
didn't ask
another thing
Dawn.
coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I finally booked myself in at Yuck Yucks
Hey.
for a new talent night, a new talent showcase.
Mhm.
So that's Wednesday the 24th, I
Mhm.
believe. I think it's the 24th.
Uh,
Next week. So it'll be fun. Great new space. Like full capacity audience. So if everybody buys a ticket, it's like 100. So I can't even imagine. Oh no, I know what it sounds like from the
Just
audience, but I'd like
just
to hear them from the stage.
just imagine that it's like any other
Oh,
room.
I've been there. I've been doing this for
Don't be.
4 years, Mike.
I know, but well, like I'm saying, you're saying, oh, it's 100 people.
No, but I mean,
Don't focus
pandemic.
on the size of the crowd. Focus on the quality of the interaction you will have with them. Don't
Oh no, but I
don't
need
even
to.
think that you're. Yeah.
Oh no, but focusing on the
Yeah.
100 people is a good thing because that's where the
Oh,
energy comes from.
okay.
So, but also, so
Yeah,
it's just,
what I meant was, what I
yeah.
meant really was, don't be intimidated by the size of the crowd.
Oh no, that doesn't intimidate me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But I just love that because it's been so quiet and so scattered the last couple of times, but with this social distancing, and
Yeah.
so to be in a place that kind of reminds me of the before time is going to be amazing.
Well, I'm not. I haven't been on. I haven't been on a stage since January of 2020. So,
Oh,
I am still. You know, my mindset is still before time, right? And so I haven't done anything during the pandemic. So
I thought
I'm
you were going to the Comedy Nest and
I
doing.
I went to see a show at the Comedy Nest because
Mhm.
Claudio was on the show.
Ah,
I had gotten a spot at the Nest,
yeah.
but then when the variants started popping up, because
Mhm.
I'm like one of the primary caregivers for my mother-in-law who's
Oh,
vulnerable.
yes. Mhm.
My wife suggested I not attend,
Ah,
so
right.
I backed out. I was very reluctant to back out. I was really looking forward to getting up there. I
Yeah.
bought a microphone even for
Yeah.
the purposes
Yeah.
of having my own equipment and not and then I agreed with my wife. It was a little bit too much of a risk to put
Yeah.
my mother-in-law in that position, so I backed out of it, and I haven't applied since, and I haven't gotten to any show since. So I'm looking forward to when not when things normalize, but when things sort of like become more manageable, where you can think to yourself, well, there is far less risk than there was, because like
Yeah.
right now, we're even hearing that apparently Canada has 2 new Delta variants out west.
Oh, yeah. I heard about BC.
BC and Alberta. It's
Alberta.
like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, oh. And now, of course, like tomorrow, I'm taking my mother-in-law for her booster shot.
Yep.
Because she's above it. She's older than 80. Her third shot of Pfizer.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that will protect her. But like I can still I'm double vaccinated. My wife's double vaccinated, but still,
Yeah, you can
with
carry
these
it.
variants, it's like
it doesn't stop them,
sometimes
yeah.
just going, holy,
Yeah.
we're hearing people in the States being double vaccinated and contracting the disease and having a really, really hard time with it.
Yeah.
And even though they're double vaccinated. So it's like, we had a friend who we had a friend in North Carolina, not North Carolina, South Carolina, who went from New York State, where he was living with like during the winter, to his condo in South Carolina. And we figured that somewhere along the line in the traveling down there, because he flew down there, he contracted COVID. He was a very high risk individual. He had COPD. He had issues with his digestive system. He was not in great shape. He got COVID, and he passed away.
Yeah.
And he was double vaccinated as well. He was like,
yeah. So the double vaccination never was.
No, it's never. It
never stopped us from being able to contract it.
No,
it just
no.
made it so that we couldn't die. We'd be less
Well,
likely to die.
Yeah, much less likely. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, most of the COVID fatalities in the States presently are people unvaccinated.
Yeah.
So it's like, common sense, not that common.
I hosted last Tuesday at the Comedy Nest.
Yeah.
And I actually started having a panic attack.
Oh.
So it was I host every week at the Wiggle Room, and it's great, but I know the staff there, and I'm booking the acts, and first off, there's only 6 acts.
Yeah.
I go to the Wiggle Room. There's a big sign. Only 3 people. Not the Wiggle Room. In the and everyone's even the acts are being checked for their double vax status going into the Comedy Nest. But there's a big sign on the door. Only 3 people in the green room. And I go, and there's like 8 people in the green room, and only 1 is wearing a mask. And
oh my God!
It was like,
no.
Like this is not my house. I can't.
Yes. No, I would have. I definitely would have said something. Yeah. That's completely unacceptable. If they limit the capacity of the green room to 3 people for social distancing, and they stuff 8 people in there, that's just not. No, that doesn't fly with me. No, get them out.
Exactly.
Especially since they have the outside hallway that they can, you can just, it's like, come on, really? This is dumb. This is just plain dumb.
Yeah.
I did tell one person to put their mask on because they were just standing up. They were like they were walking near the sound booth, and it was. So yeah, and I was hosting, so just having that.
Yeah.
I admit I was a little off, especially at the beginning of the show, but I did bring the audience into it, and then because there was 14 people in the show.
Oh my God!
People went over. It was way more than they normally have at the comedy.
Yeah, usually they have about 8, maybe 10 max. 14. Yeah. Good God!
It was like the old Comedy Works.
Oh God, yeah, I remember these things.
And people blowing through the light.
Oh,
it was just.
Thanks.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah, they
14 people 5 minutes a piece. That's 70 minutes right there.
They played 2 acts off.
Oh Jesus!
That's how badly they blew the light.
Wow.
Oh my God, I've never seen that before.
That's disrespectful.
Normal.
That is disrespectful on behalf of the person who does that.
Were they new?
I mean, were these newbies?
Yeah,
it was the newbies who went over that long.
Yeah.
Well, one of them is born in Montreal but started comedy in Ireland.
Okay.
And has moved back to Montreal.
Right.
Okay. So. Have you ever seen a comic go onto a stage and read jokes that another comic, like a famous comic, has done, and credit them, but like just go up there and read someone, a new comic, or I guess new talent night person came up and did a set, and they were obviously a bringer. Lots of the audience reacted positively or with recognition to what they were talking about, but it ended up not really being jokes, premises, and obscure stuff. Well, at least to me, Generation X. But then they ended their set by like saying, oh, and these are some jokes that this other comic, and I forget the name of the comic, had like his done, and then they started reading them, and I was just like, I turned around and I'm looking at the comics in the back, like, what the fuck is this?
I have never seen that.
That's comedy karaoke.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, I don't know if you've watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, what her husband does at the beginning of the show is exactly that. He's doing a
Newhart.
complete ripoff of
Newhart, yeah.
Newhart, yeah, Bob
Yeah.
Newhart, and some people think that that's how you get started in comedy, and that's not exactly it. Or doing street jokes. I have seen so many guys, new people, come on stage and start doing street jokes, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
that's you know
Not cool.
that's not the way to that's not the way to get into this business.
No.
Or people who are fairly seasoned, who get maybe jammed up. They've run out of material or something. They're in a situation, and they resort to street jokes or internet jokes. It's like,
Well,
Yeah, but that's
Delirious.
where the curation comes in. I hate that so much because
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to see it. I want to vet it.
Was it Eddie Murphy? I think Delirious.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The bear and the rabbit joke. That
Yeah.
was a street joke before he put
Yes.
it on stage.
Oh.
Much
God.
before. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember hearing that when I was a kid.
But I mean, like he's doing it as part of crowd work and talking
Yes.
to a kid and saying, "Here's a joke you can tell in the schoolyard."
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Comedy is subjective, but sometimes it's a little bit out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not really subjective. That's just hack.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What was it?
I've been missing going on stage, and one of the indications that I really miss being on stage, and I really miss comedy in general, is that this morning I woke up laughing. I woke up.
Check your meds.
I was dreaming of a situation where I was in a situation with another comic and his kid, and some of the stuff that we were talking about. It was such an unbelievably hilarious situation. I'm gonna actually contact the other comic and tell him about this, but it was just so. It was like, where is my mind going with this? What
Write it
something
down.
is definitely, yeah. The neurons are firing, so I'm really anxious to get back on stage.
Write it down. All right.
Write it down. I'm gonna write it down. You betcha.
Mike, ask me what's the second most important thing in comedy?
What is the second most important
Timing.
thing in comedy? No, it's timing.
No, that's inflection.
Yes. That's, yeah. What's his name? Steve Martin did that on one of his albums.
Yeah. There we are. All right. Wow, we blew
Yeah,
through
we-
45 minutes.
We have been motoring along, even though we got a little bit of a late start. We've been motoring along. So
We have.
Interesting.
We had no comments today, but
Yeah.
we missed last week.
So, yeah.
that's
we
probably
may
the reason.
we may
if
have
you are
pissed
watching,
people off.
we're if you are watching, just hit the like button, etc.
Yes.
Even if you're watching it on the replay.
Yes.
I do have, of course, our entertainment watch kind of thing. Dawn, is there anything that you've seen recently or anything that you're looking forward to starting?
Oh, well, I'm a little bit uncertain about it. I told my son that he needs to watch it first to tell me if it's worth me watching. Spider-Man. I'm not really feeling very good about the new Spider-Man movie. It feels like a lot. I feel like I'm going to be very, very disappointed. And yeah, I'm just reading and watching all of the spoilers I possibly can, because I just have a bad Spidey sense about this.
Who's playing Spider-Man in this?
Tom Holland. I love
Everybody-
Tom Holland.
Everybody's playing.
Oh
Everybody's
yeah,
playing
sorry,
Tom.
everybody. You're right. But
Well,
yeah, I have
isn't
a
the
bad
next
feeling about it.
yeah, isn't the next Batman going to be Robert Pattinson?
Yes.
Twilight. Sparkly vampire.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
There is okay. There's a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Marvel has sort of they have a continuity thing that they're trying to do.
Right.
This movie allegedly is the last Tom Holland Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they finally opened up the multiverse And so they're going to bring back the other two people who played Spider-Man. Allegedly, this is the rumors or
Okay.
potential spoilers. Sorry if I spoiled that for anyone who hadn't like lifted the rock off their head for the past 6 months. So allegedly, these other people are the villains from those films are making appearances because they're in the trailers.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I'm really annoyed because I saw, again, spoiler, Electro, and I was just like, no, I don't want to see Electro back at all. I just
Yeah,
hated
they're
that.
apparently the look is going to be very changed.
Okay,
There,
that's
so
good.
an alternate universe version.
Oh, okay, good.
There was a at the end of Venom 2, the Let There Be Carnage, which was released earlier. There's a post credit scene or mid credit scene. I think it's just a mid credit scene that may or may not reference the No Way Home, the new Spider-Man film coming out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about it and I approve that scene.
Yeah,
That was
and
interesting.
Molina is reprising his role as Doctor Octopus. He's in the trailer. You get to
Yeah.
hear William Dafoe's voice in the trailer as a pumpkin
Goblin.
bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lands, and I think there's one other. There is. Oh yeah. There's also the Morbius film is coming out, but that's afterwards, and that has references to the Vulture, who was in the first Spider-Man film,
Cool.
the first Tom Holland Spider-Man film. So, they're
Interesting.
sort of they're working with the multiverse now. DC has always treated everything like a multiverse.
Yeah.
Every movie or every director has sort of had their own stamp and their own world.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's the Snyderverse per se.
Yeah.
That's why Harley Quinn's tattoos are radically different between Suicide Squad 1 and Suicide Squad 2.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And also her appearances in the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey film.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So her tattoos change between all three films.
Huh.
It's costume. That's one thing to change. Tattoos. That's another.
Yeah, that sounds really annoying.
Yeah.
Actually.
And the Flash movie that's coming out allegedly will have an aged Batman in it, played by Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
Right. And so everything that they're throwing at the wall in the Spider-Man one, I have enough trust in Marvel that I'm saying I'm willing to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's probably going to be a lot of quick cameos by a lot of different characters, but that's it. But the fact that they are getting rid of Tom Holland as Peter Parker Spider-Man, I wonder if that means they're going to be doing a live action Miles Morales.
I hope so. That's the only outcome I'd be comfortable with because I don't like the other two. Well, I guess I did at the time when their movies came out because there was nothing else. But after
Yeah.
seeing Tom Holland in the role,
And
he
just
is
nail it,
Spider-Man. Yeah,
And
he is
he's
Peter
aging.
Parker. I mean,
It's how long can they keep him as a in high school? I mean,
Yeah.
he does look young, but
yeah, but he
and
should never have been cast in the Drake Uncharted movie, in my opinion.
yes.
That was horrible.
Now they also I think it was in the first Tom Holland film. They actually set up Miles Morales because they had his uncle appear.
Yeah, with the ice cream melting in the trunk.
And
Yeah.
who was that played by?
Lando Calrissian.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
So, who's an incredibly talented actor who'd be wasted if that's the only way they use him in
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe.
Exactly. So I'd like to, if they fold everything together, it would be better. But I just I don't know. There seemed to be a lot of angst in the trailers, and I'm not a fan of angst. I'm just like, okay, let's wrap it up.
There was a good bit of comedy.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I've heard theories that the Doctor Strange isn't the Doctor Strange.
That's what I
So
heard too. That would be
I,
really exciting.
he's usually a little bit more careful. But the thing is, when you see the big MacGuffin in the trailer
Yeah,
of stop talking while I'm doing this,
yeah,
that seemed like the real Doctor Strange to me. But
yeah.
um, yeah, Mike, what's
Yo,
something that you've watched recently that you would recommend, and anything that you're looking forward to coming up?
uh, I can't. Nothing springs to mind. I mean, I haven't been to a movie theater in probably a couple of years now.
Okay.
And I watch stuff like when it comes out on Netflix or stuff like that, but I don't. There's nothing that really captures me. Lately, I've been watching a lot of documentaries and stuff, things that have to do with real life rather than fiction, and some of them are quite enthralling. Some of them are quite disturbing, and I don't know. I'm just not. I I mean I understand that the DC and the Marvel universe, there's sort of like escapism. There's like a bunch of stuff that is definitely to take your mind off of things. But I find that there's a lot of stuff that I don't have any interest in. So I'm not drawn to it. And there's very little in terms of comedic movies coming out lately, and I find that's a little bit disturbing because I think in this day and age we actually need something funny to lift our spirits, to change our perspective from where we are now to where we want to be. So. I don't know. I'm not feeling any of this stuff. I mean, I appreciate I'm very happy you guys like this stuff and are into it and go for it. It just doesn't do anything for me really. I mean, I've seen a couple of the movie. Like I saw the original Batman's, Catwoman, Batman, Penguin, all that stuff. I saw the original Spider-Man. I think I saw maybe one and two. I haven't seen any of the Thor movies or anything to do with Hulk or anything like that. I remember those from my youth when I read the comic books, but even the comic books, they're not the comic books that I grew up with. The stuff that's out there now is, I don't know. Maybe it's because the comic books when I was growing up, they were very sort of naive. They were very, very like they had this, like there was a good guy, there was a bad guy, black and white. Nowadays, the good guys can be bad guys too. The bad guys can be good guys too. And sometimes the
That
good guy turns into a bad guy. The bad guy turns into a good guy. It's like
that was happening in the early '70s.
yeah,
That started to
yeah.
happen.
But I was past my comic book age in the '70s. I mean, I was reading comic books back in the mid to late '60s, maybe early '70s. But yeah, things started. Yeah, when they killed off Superman first time in DC, it was when I said, "What? You can't kill
'80s,
Superman."
yeah,
It was the '70s or '80s. I don't remember. But they
'80s is
they
what I
killed him
heard.
off, and then they bring him back. It's like fuck. Yeah, anyway, they lost me at that point.
So, guys, unfortunately, I have to jump off
Yeah.
the
Well,
live
maybe
stream.
we should
Stream.
we should just
But
wrap it up then.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
I'm Paul Ash. You find out about my shows right there. Thank you very much, Don, for being part of this. Mike, thank you. And I'll just to give a quick little shout out of what I've seen. I went to see Dune, completely forgetting about what year it was written in, and realized that it's a white savior film.
Yeah.
oh no.
They actually refer to the natives. This is taken from the script. They actually refer to the natives of the Dune planet as savages,
Savages.
and of course they need the white savior to come in, and of course they've cast all of them as people of color, and it's beautiful. It's just like, why couldn't they have put this kind of budget and direction into a better thought out story?
Yeah.
I know, but it's a complete colonialism story. I'm looking to see the Eternals. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife, which comes out
Oh
this
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Oh,
And on
that
the
might that
night,
might pique my interest.
yeah, yeah, and on the 19th there is the Wheel of Time series will start on Amazon. I'm of mixed mind, so hopefully it can win me over. Battlecom is coming up on the 29th of November. Jason Hattrick will be on the panel. Barry Carter will be on the panel. Erica Tadeo will be there, of course, and Scott Andrew Carter. So we've got, and one more surprise. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Cheers.
Excellent.
I love you all. Paul Ash.
Take care.
Bye.
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 I have to hit the end broadcast thing to make that work.